The courtroom fell silent. On May 7, 2025, the eyes of the nation turned towards Memphis, Tennessee. A jury prepared to deliver its verdict in the case of Tyre Nichols, a 29-year-old black man who died after a brutal encounter with Memphis police officers. The air crackled with tension, a palpable manifestation of the hopes and anxieties of a nation grappling with its history of racial injustice and police brutality. The verdict came swiftly, each pronouncement cutting through the silence like a shard of ice. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. 3 former Memphis police officers, Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith, were acquitted of all state charges related to Nichols' death. The acquittals sent shockwaves across the country, reigniting the simmering national debate about police accountability and the deep-seated inequities within the criminal justice system. The verdict, for many, felt like a punch to the gut, a stark reminder of the challenges in securing justice for victims of police violence, particularly black men. Tyre Nichols was driving home on the evening of January 7, 2023, when his path intersected with that of the Memphis Police Department's Scorpion Unit. The details of the encounter remain shrouded in the chaos and confusion that often accompany such incidents. What is clear, however, is that the traffic stop escalated with terrifying speed, transforming from a routine interaction into a scene of unimaginable brutality. Body camera footage, released to the public weeks after the incident, painted a horrifying picture of the violence inflicted upon Nichols. The footage showed officers dragging Nichols from his car, shouting conflicting commands and pepper spraying him. Nichols, clearly disoriented and afraid, could be heard calling out for his mother as the officers continued to escalate the situation. The officers, their faces obscured by the darkness and the adrenaline coursing through their veins, punched, kicked, and beat Nichols with a baton. He died in the hospital 3 days later, his death a stark reminder of the human cost of police brutality. The acquittals of the 3 former officers ignited a firestorm of emotions across the nation. Outrage, grief, and frustration mingled with a deep-seated weariness, a sense of déjà vu as the nation once again confronted its long and troubled history of racial injustice and police brutality. From coast to coast, people took to the streets, their voices rising in unison to demand justice for Tyre Nichols and accountability for those responsible for his death. Civil rights leaders, activists, and community organizers echoed the calls for justice, their voices amplified by the chorus of outrage reverberating across the country. They spoke of the urgent need for systemic change, for a fundamental reimagining of policing and the criminal justice system. While the state trial ended in acquittals, offering little solace to those seeking justice for Tyre Nichols, the pursuit of accountability did not end there. The U.S. Department of Justice, recognizing the gravity of the case and its implications for civil rights, launched its own investigation into Nichols' death. In August 2023, the Justice Department announced federal civil rights charges against the 5 former officers involved in the incident. The federal indictments, which included charges of deprivation of rights under color of law conspiracy to obstruct justice and obstruction of justice, offered a glimmer of hope in the fight for justice. The federal trial, which took place in the spring of 2025, provided a stark contrast to the state trial. The death of Tyre Nichols and the subsequent legal proceedings exposed the deep-seated systemic issues that continue to plague law enforcement and the criminal justice system in the United States. It cast a harsh light on the pervasive culture of silence within police departments, where officers are often reluctant to report misconduct for fear of retribution. The case also highlighted the ongoing lack of accountability for officers who abuse their power, a problem exacerbated by qualified immunity laws that shield officers from civil lawsuits. Beyond the specific failings of individual officers, the case of Tyre Nichols underscored the need for a fundamental reimagining of policing in America. Experts and advocates pointed to the militarization of police forces, the over-policing of black and brown communities, and the lack of diversity within police departments as contributing factors to the ongoing crisis of police violence. The case also exposed the limitations of body camera footage as a tool for police accountability. The acquittals of the 3 former Memphis officers in the state trial, while deeply disheartening, did not extinguish the flames of hope for a more just and equitable future. The federal convictions offered a measure of accountability, But the fight for systemic change continues. The death of Tyre Nichols, like the deaths of so many black men and women before him, served as a tragic reminder of the urgent need for comprehensive police reforms. Achieving this vision requires a multifaceted approach that addresses the systemic issues at the heart of the problem. This includes enacting meaningful police reforms, promoting diversity within law enforcement agencies, investing in community-based alternatives to policing, and addressing the underlying social and economic inequities that contribute to crime and violence. The fight for justice and reform is not merely a legal or political battle, it is a moral imperative.